this is an election year. You're the incumbent. Here are the areas where Pocatello residents feel that the city is not meeting their needs. This is one of those ways that I can highlight in real time, one of those concerns that people in Pocatello are having.
What's in a name? It's the beginning of a classic quote from Romeo and Juliet. That which we call a rose by any other name would smell as sweet, is the end of it. Which is basically saying, even if you change the name of something, that thing still retains the same qualities, right? But what if it didn't? Basically, what if a name was just laying around, not being used? Could somebody use it for something else entirely and change what it represents? Well, that's basically what has happened in Pocatello. Back in June, Kevin Lewis decided he wanted to run for Pocatello City Council. And just before he filed his candidacy for seat 5, that would be last month, Kevin made a discovery that he says encapsulates his campaign and why he wants that seat. What else could Gate City be missing out on if its leaders can't keep on top of the basics, basically?
It's showing up when it matters. And as long as I can remember, I've shown up. And now I'm running for city council.
When Kevin Lewis decided he wanted to hold office in his hometown, one of the first things he did, check out the competition.
And so we're looking for other candidates, what their platforms are. We go to look for Miss Lurik's campaign platform, and there's no website.
That's when Mr. Lewis learned Miss Lurik had let her domain name lapse. So Kevin did what any millennial might do. He bought it. $12.
Yeah.
Not as a prank, he says, but to prove a point.
In my mind, it's 2025. You should have a website, and it should be up to date, especially when you're the incumbent and you're wanting to keep this seat.
I'm a 5th-generation resident of Pocatello.
It's kind of one of the common themes I'm finding as I'm knocking doors with folks here in Pocatello is they really feel that Pocatello is a city that has missed a lot of opportunities. And so I'm a big believer in, let's see where those missed opportunities are. And this was one of them. And it's created quite a stir. So,
well, probably because you didn't just buy it, you redirected it.
Mm-hmm.
To what?
To my website. Yeah.
Linda4Pocatello.com now sends people to Kevin4Pocatello.com.
When we purchased it, we didn't announce that we purchased it. We didn't say anything about it. I just redirected it to my website and just left it alone. And so it wasn't even Miss Lurik who brought it to the public's attention. It was another candidate.
I'm sure you've heard the criticism. It is petty. It is childish. Mm-hmm. Not necessary.
Yeah, I ignore the criticism.
Even criticism from the domain's former owner. Linda Lurik did give a quote to East Idaho News. It said, "The only reason Kevin Lewis would purchase my domain name is to play dirty, try to gain an advantage by confusing, misleading, and tricking my supporters and voters." What do you say to that?
I honestly think it's kind of a funny statement because that's not what this is. If I was trying to trick her voters, I could have redirected it anywhere. She called it unconscionable fear-mongering, which I just think is just out of touch with the way the world works right now. So while this might be like a super minor and frankly dumb issue, it's just it's one of those things that says, you know what? Yeah, Pocatello, you're right. A lot of people, in leadership, they're just missing the things that younger folks like myself value. I'd rather us be talking about how do we address the housing crisis as it's facing young people in Pocatello? How do we address issues with childcare? This is what voters are seeing. This is what voters are talking about. They're talking about missed opportunities.
Oh, yeah. Anybody could have bought that website or that domain name and directed it to any website, even nefarious ones. But Kevin said he did not do that. He made sure to point out this is not a criticism of Linda personally or a knock on the work she has done for the people and city of Pocatello, just a call to a lack of attention to detail. And he added he would give it back to her, give her back her domain name if she asked for it, which he says she hasn't. We did reach out to Linda Lurik several times to get her side of this story, but we yet to hear back from her or her campaign.